Manuel Nunes, Augusto Dias, and Jose do Espirito Santo were the first ukulele luthiers. A luthier is a craftsperson who builds or repairs string instruments. Nunes emigrated to Hawaii from Madeira in 1879 and soon became a major force of the transformation of the Madeira machete to the Hawaiian ukulele. The Azores and Madeira are both Portuguese archipelagos located in the North Atlantic Ocean, but they are separated by a significant distance. He established himself as one of the earliest ukulele makers and was involved in ukulele manufacturing for over 40 years, much longer than any of the early makers. Many of his handcraft instruments bore the label M. Nunes, inventor of the ukulele and taro patch fiddles in Honolulu in 1879. His skills were inherited by apprentices such as his son Leonardo Nunes and Samuel Kamaka Sr., who carried on the tradition of fine art ukulele construction. Ukulele pioneer Manuel Nunes was born on June 14, 1843 in Funchal, Madeira, the son of Ricardo Antonio Nunes and his wife Maria Gomes. Nunes, a young widower, was aged 36 with 4 children, Manuel, Maria, Leonardo, Augusto, and newly married to his second wife, Isabel, age 18, when he and his family arrived in Honolulu on August 23, 1879, aboard the Ravenscraig, the same ship that also carried fellow ukulele pioneers Augusto Dias and Jose do Espirito Santo. 5 more children, John, Mary, Julius, George, and Don, were born to Nunes in Hawaii. The Portuguese Consul General in Hawaii listed Nunes, Dias, and Santo as laborers, as they were contracted as plantation hands for the first few years in the islands. By 1884, some of the Portuguese men had returned to Honolulu and their woodworking roots. In this year, Nunes is listed in the Honolulu Directory as a cabinet maker and Dias as a guitar maker. In the following year, the first issue of Luso o Hawaii advertises both Nunes and Dias as makers of machete. The machete, a small 4-string folk instrument from Portugal, was brought to Hawaii in the late 19th century by Portuguese immigrants, especially from Madeira and the Azores, who came to work on the island's sugar plantations. In Portugal, the machete, also called guinha or machete de Braga, was a staple of Madeiran folk music. Madeira's luthiers crafted it from local woods like cedar, pine, or spruce, giving it a sharp, clear tone. It was often played at community dances, such as the bailinho, providing lively, high-pitched accompaniment to festive rhythms. In 1879, the ship SS Ravenscraig arrived in Honolulu carrying hundreds of Portuguese laborers, including skilled woodworkers and musicians. Among them were luthiers João Fernandes, Manuel Nunes, and Augusto Dias, who began crafting instruments in Hawaii. They adapted the machete in spearmany with koa wood, a resident native Hawaiian wood, and different tunings, producing a brighter, more playful sound. The Hawaiian adaptation was more than a copy, it was a cultural fusion. The new instrument, now called the ʻukulele, meaning jumping flea in Hawaiian, inspired by the quick finger movements of musician Edward Purvis, became a symbol of Hawaiian identity. In 1889, Nunes, Dias, and Santo are all in the city directory as guitar makers. Over the next decade, the combined efforts of these three men and the patronage of King Kalakaua popularized a new instrument that became known as the ukulele. In 1910, Nunes established M. Nunes and Son with Leonardo and Julius. By this time, Santo had died an untimely death and Diaz retired due to illness. M. Nunes and Sons listed themselves in the Honolulu directory as manufactured the only genuine ukulele, Hawaii's sweetest toned instrument. In 1916, Nunes was listing himself in the city directory as the inventor of the original ukulele, although his advertising elsewhere with this moniker a few years earlier. King David Kalakaua, the Merry Monarch, embraced the ukulele, incorporating it into royal gatherings and performances. Its patronage elevated its status from a folk instrument to a cultural icon. Nunes' son, Julius and Leonardo, both branched out with their own ukulele manufacturing businesses. Julius returned to M. Nunes and Son after a brief stint as manager of Nunes Ukulele Company in 1915. Leonardo, on the other hand, had left Hawaii for Los Angeles at this time, where he began making instruments labeled Ukulele o Hawaii, made by Leonardo Nunes. Manuel Nunes' wife, Isabel, died at age 55 in 1916, and he stopped making instruments in 1917. He died at the home of Julius in 1922 at age 79. Both Isabel and Manuel are buried in the King Street Cemetery in Honolulu. In summary, the machete was a Portuguese folk instrument from Madeira, brought to Hawaii by Portuguese immigrants in 1879, adapted by Hawaiian luthiers and embraced by the monarchy. It evolved into the ukulele, a lasting symbol of Hawaiian music and culture.